Raceway, Canada's fastest half-mile track, is proud to sponsor Keeping Pace. Post times at Truro Raceway are Thursdays at 7 p.m. and Sundays at 1:30 p.m. Truro Raceway, on the exhibition grounds in Bible Hill.
Hello, I'm Dwayne Geldart, and welcome to Keeping Pace. On today's show, we'll have coverage of the second leg of the $2,000 Claimer Series. We'll talk with Ted Andrews, Director of Racing for the Maritimes, and we'll have our weekly features. But first, here's Doug Harkness with a recap of the recent USTA convention.
The District 10 convention, which was held at Ketty's Motor Inn in Truro, was one of the best attended in years, with some 200 gathering for the awards banquet on the Saturday night, which honored the top performers of the 1994 season. Truro Raceway was the host track for the convention, and the awards banquet was attended by municipal, provincial, and federal elected officials. The USTA paid special recognition to longtime horseman Clayton McLeod of Truro and had a special citation for Glace Bay horse owner Tom McPherson. The 1994 Horse of the Year award went to West River Exotic, owned by Claire McDonald of Antigonish. He set 3 all-age trot records during the season and was a Triple Crown Stakes winner in the region. Dave Carey of Truro was the leading dash winner in the Maritimes with 125 victories. The Atlantic Sire Stakes also honored its top performers. West River Exotic was the 3-year-old trot champion. Guy on the Go, a son of Willowbird Stand-Up DB, co-owned by Russell Burgoyne, and Sandy Fraser was the top 3-year-old pacing colt, earning $60,000 on the year. 3-year-old pacing filly honors went to First Quest, a daughter of Stargaze Hanover, who was campaigned by Rod Jameson for owner Earl Fram and breeder the First Horse Farm of Moncton. The 2-year-old trotter of the year was Maggie Hill, owned by Sean McIsaac of Cornwall PEI. And 2-year-old pacing filly honors, of course, went to Charlotte's Brett, the Denman filly, owned by Tom McPherson of Glace Bay and campaigned by Earl Smith.
Keeping Pace and Paz Cheval's, Central Nova Scotia's largest GM truck dealer, are proud to offer official Keeping Pace t-shirts. If you send us a story idea and we use it on the air, we'll send you one. So forward your ideas to Keeping Pace, care of Eastern Cable, Channel 4, 69 Walker Street, Truro, Nova Scotia, B2N 4A8. Official Keeping Pace t-shirts are only available through this offer. The Maritime Harness Racing Commission announced at the USTA meetings that effective April 1st, all horsemen in maritime racetracks will be under the USTA umbrella. Doug Harkness talked with Ted Andrews about the decision.
Ted Andrews, at the USTA annual banquet, an announcement regarding the jurisdictional issue. Would you mind explaining it to us?
Yes, as you know, one of the mandates of the new Maritime Provinces Harness Racing Commission was to resolve the issue regarding the licensing and recording bodies vis-a-vis the CTA and the USTA jurisdictions, and a decision was reached yesterday at a commission meeting after a lot of review and analysis that effective April the 1st of 1995, all racetracks under the control and guidance of the Maritime Provinces Harness Racing Commission will be required to be licensed and operated under the USTA.
Okay, that raises the question, what's the CTA feel about this? Have you advised them?
Yes, I discussed the situation with Tom Gorman, the general manager of the Canadian Trotting Association, and while he was disappointed, I'm sure he had hoped that perhaps it would go the other way. He understood that it was probably in the best interest of all the horsemen and horse owners that we do it under one umbrella. And so wished us all the best, and I'll be coordinating with him the transition through the 2 racetracks, and hopefully we'll have no hitches.
Okay, any reaction from Exhibition Park Raceway or Fredericton?
Fredericton, I talked to the general manager there, and he said fine, he has no problems with it and doesn't anticipate there being any difficulties with any of the horsemen with regard to it. I'm probably relieved to find that it's now going to be effective under one jurisdiction. As far as Exhibition Park Raceway, unfortunately there is no representation here today from them, and I will be contacting them the first thing in the morning to advise them of the situation.
Ted, was there any one particular reason, or I know it's been an issue that's been came well before your commission was established. Was there any one particular reason why they would lean towards the USTA rather than the CTA?
No single item. As you know, we analyzed it from a financial point of view. We analyzed it from a membership point of view, advantages and disadvantages of Prince Edward Island or Nova Scotia horseman racing over there once in a stake race. The USTA have upgraded their computer systems so that they are very efficient, and there's a long life of membership in the USTA because obviously one of the founding fathers is from this region, and so a lot of variables, but I think it was a justifiable decision without question.
Okay, Ted, if we can switch to another topic that arose in the USTA District 10 annual meetings. You had a very good seminar in which you explained the role of the commission. I also understand there was a meeting regarding the, I will call it the Atlantic Satellite Network for harness racing. How far has that progressed?
That's progressed quite well, actually. I first introduced it to the track owners in November 15th when we reviewed the 1995 race dates. I feel it is the most realistic vehicle to go with all of the simulcasting intertracking that's going to be coming forth. We have elected a special subcommittee. We will be meeting tomorrow afternoon to establish a program so that hopefully within 6 months we will be have the organization in place so that we will be able to set up a joint venture corporation.
I know the Maritime Provinces Harness Racing Commission is basically, as the name suggests, it's maritime provinces, but I understand also there might be a Newfoundland component in this.
There's a Newfoundland component in the committee based only on the fact that I think they would like to have some of the intertracking going to their racetrack in St. John's. Unfortunately, at this point in time, Newfoundland is not able to join the Maritime Provinces Harness Racing Commission because we are an agency or commission of the Council of Maritime Premiers, and obviously Newfoundland would have to be a component of that before we would have to be able to take them on.
But nevertheless, you're still kind of welcoming the Newfoundland involvement in the thing.
Oh yes, of course. I mean, we like to have their involvement, and we'll do everything we can to support them and help them in their needs.
Ted, it's been a busy first calendar year for you, and as you enter 1995, but since we last talked to you, there's been a decision made regarding the casino operators in Nova Scotia, and how does the Maritime Racing Commission fit into that?
Well, we have met prior to the proposal submission with the Sheraton representatives. We received a very good meeting with them and received a lot of support. I think that we're in a very good position at this point in time. They are currently away out of town, but I hope to be meeting with them by the end of January to examine their long-term objectives and goals and to further reinforce our wishes to be part of their program.
1995 is underway now, Ted. Can I ask you, to sum it up briefly, what kind of a year are we looking for in maritime racing?
I think we're going to find a much better year for the horsemen and the horse owners, a more open and acceptable program, and I think that the decline is over, and I see that we're going to be going forward.
Ted, thanks for sharing your thoughts with us tonight.
Thank you very much, Doug.
Horses move up and down the class ladder all the time, and do so for a number of reasons. When a horse is performing at his peak, the trainer will move him up in class to take advantage of his hot streak in order to earn more purse money. When a horse is performing below par, he can sometimes still earn his share of purses when the trainer moves him down the ladder to face easier competition. In either case, the handicapper must determine how the move up or down will affect the horse's chances of winning tonight. Now, as a rule, horses dropping down have an advantage in any race. But since these changes in class are also related to how well a horse has been racing, a horse showing bad form may not improve simply by dropping down. Horses moving up in class, too, are at a slight disadvantage over horses in the higher class, and they usually don't do as well. But a hot horse or a young horse that hasn't yet established his class will still be able to race well. If all other handicapping factors are equal, give the horse dropping down in class an extra point or two.
When he arrived in the Maritimes, Boone and Crockett had some impressive credentials. With a mark of 153 and career earnings of $263,000, he was expected to become a popular stallion in the region. But with his popularity in the stud ranks declining, he has returned to racing. Doug talked with his handlers.
Well, Trevor Shives, we got on the guidelines a pretty classy racehorse here in Boone and Crockett.
Yeah, he's a good old horse. He was pretty good when he was younger. He hasn't been racing for a long time. We tried him in the stallion ranks, and he had a few half-decent horses, but he didn't fare too well, so just having some fun with him now, getting him back in shape.
Of course, among his offspring, of course, was Jasper Moon, and he was our best 2-year-old last year, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was pretty good, yeah. He was one of the better ones. There's a few that weren't so good, though, so that's why why I'm fooling with him anyways.
This horse hasn't raced for, what, 5 years, Trevor?
Yeah, it's been 6 years, I guess. Yeah, he was racing at the Meadowlands last year race anyway. So.
Very nice record, a lot of career earnings. Tell us what kind of program did you use to sort of get him back where he is now?
Oh, I had him in the paddock a lot, and he was kind of stayed in shape that way, running back and forth. There's a few mares in the other field there, and he was trying to get in there, so he was running up and down the field, and he kind of stayed in pretty good shape anyways. And then I just started fooling with him because he wasn't getting any mares to breed, so I said, might as well, fool with him a little bit. I was having some fun with him anyway, so.
You started back training him when?
It's only been about 3 months now. I got into him, but hurt his leg there a month and a half ago and kind of sored up a little bit, but he's back now. It's pretty tight and it looks okay, so kind of got him back a little quick. He's not not very tight right now, so we'll see how he is anyway.
Well, certainly when we see horses like Harriator at 13 winning and Weston Miracle age 12, he's just a junior to those fellows. Yeah. Is he sort of a classy horse when you're behind the lines with him?
Oh, yeah. He's a lot of fun to train, Yeah, it's a powerful horse, powerful hind end on him, and I just have a lot of fun with him.
Yeah. Nice manners for a stallion.
Oh, yeah, he's got good manners. A lot of them are knocking his offspring for their manners, but he's pretty good. I don't know where they get that from him anyway, so.
Well, we want to wish you the best with him and have some fun with him.
Great. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
It's time for our feature on races from the past. Tonight's race was the United Way Pace from Truro Raceway in 1989. Here's the track announcer with the call.
They are off and pacing, leaving the gate quickly is Expo Extra along with Chow Main Time, and off the rail RB's Laura. 3 deep into the first turn, followed by Sissis Marnie out fourth. Fifth in the early going is Cobblecourt Grey Cloud. Radiant Night has 6, Crystal Skipper. And the early trailer is Glencoe Bell onto the backstretch. They go for the first time. And Chow Main Time moves up in the passing lane to take over the top. Expo Extra races second. Third along the fence is RB's Laura. In the 4th spot of the early going, Sissis Marnie. Cobblecourt Grey Cloud is sitting in 5th. From 6th is Radiant Night. Crystal Skipper has 7. And treading the field onto the upper turn is Glencoe Bell. They were by the opening quarter in 31 seconds as they move single file past the 3/8. Chow Main Time is the pace setter by 1 length. Expo Extra sits in the garden spot. RB's Laura 3rd. Up on the outside, here comes Sissis Marnie moving first over. Following that move is Cobblecourt Grey Cloud. And in along the fence, Radiant Night, Crystal Skipper, and Glencoe Bell. They move past the half as they continue into the paddock turn. It's Chow Main Time out front by 1 length. Expo Extra getting a good journey second. Outside, Sissis Marnie is pacing 3rd. Locked in now 4th at the rail as RB's Laura. Second over on the outside as they continue on to the backstretch. Cobblecourt Grey Cloud, then Radiant Night, Crystal Skipper, and Glencoe Bell. The half at 1:02 and 4/5 down the backstretch as they approach 3/4. Chow Main Time is still the leader by 1 length. Expo Extra second. Outside, Sissis Marnie is pacing 3rd. Cobblecourt Grey Cloud well spotted in the passing lane from 4. Down along the fence 5th and nowhere to go RB's Laura. Followed by Crystal Skipper, Radiant Night, and Glencoe Bell. 1:33 and 3/5 to 3/4 off the top turn. Less than an eighth to come. And Chow Main Time is still there by a length. Sissis Marnie in along the fence. Expo Extra. They straighten out for the payoff. And Chow Main Time leads them on home. On the outside, Sissis Marnie. Off stride, Cobblecourt Grey Cloud. It's going to be Chow Main Time winning it. It's close between Sissis Marnie and Expo Extra for second.
Sunset Colin arrived in the maritime racing scene last year following a 154-4 victory in Ontario. Purchased by Boyd McDonald, Sunset Colin did not live up to his reputation. And now he's back racing again and has shown he might be a contender. Doug Harkness talks with his trainer.
Well, Everett Lowther, over the years, you've had some nice horses you trained for Boyd McDonald, have you not?
Yes, that's right. Well, to start with, Worthy Gift, I guess, was a good one. Full Flight. There was Double Command. Oh, there's been some nice ones.
And that big horse, Wanger Road, was a great one, too.
Yes, yeah, he was a decent horse. He get off the gate good. He was a big horse. Big horse. I think he wore about a 62-inch hobble. We didn't get to race him a lot. He got into some trouble there in town, and he choked off, and as you know, he had to be put down. I guess he died instantly that time.
So, Boyd, there's been nobody gamer in buying horses for Maritime Racing Scene.
I guess there hasn't. He's tough.
So now let's come to Sunset Colin. He was a horse that you got last year, basically your Gold Cup and Saucer horse. Came down here with very, very impressive credentials and kind of disappointed. Did you find out maybe the trouble?
Yeah, he had a paralyzed flap. So we had to have an operation done on him, and he seems good so far. Hopefully he'll keep improving.
I know he's won a couple of races already this year, and he's a classy horse.
Yes, he is. Yeah, he can get off the gate good, and he's finishing better now too. I didn't have a whole lot of work in him when I started him, and he's starting to get a little tighter now, and hopefully he'll take the job that he's supposed to do.
Everett, for a race fan, if you talk about a flapper, it sort of stops the horse from breathing, does it not?
It stops the horse from breathing. They they don't get all their oxygen, and it usually happens about the three-quarter pole, and basically just shuts off half their air, and that's what was happening with him.
What kind of operation would you have to cure this?
Well, they go in through their under here, and they cut off a chunk of skin so that the flap will open and shut.
Tell me, what kind of a horse is this mannerism-wise and speed off the gate? Is it a nice horse?
He's perfect. He gets a little rank waiting for the gate, but once you're behind the gate, perfect, and you can take him back, or easy to control.
Well, we're certainly glad to see him here at the Truro Raceway. He adds to our program every night. And will this horse be a free-for-all horse, in your opinion, in 95?
I hope so, Doug. I certainly hope so.
Well, we want to wish you the best with Sunset Colin, and maybe he'll be the Gold Cup and Saucer horse we're looking for.
Maybe. Thank you.
All the best with him.
The second leg of the $2,000 claiming series at Truro Raceway was held on their January 22nd card. Here's Doug Harkness to set the scene.
Well, Dave Carey, the leading dash-winning driver at Truro Raceway in 1994, dominated the first leg of the $2,000 claiming series when he won 2 of the 3 events. And in the first leg last Sunday, the second leg of the series, he had Reactor Nucleaire from post 3, and this horse was favored. He's been a tough $2,000 claimer for most of last year, and once again was favored to win this one. Township Cassandra was on the rail, Daystar Elmhurst with Leslie Parker from 2, then Reactor Nucleaire, Ecology GB from 4, Eagle When She Flies from 5, Keenson, who won impressively the night before on Thursday, was from post 6, and Pullover from 7. Here's Joe Kelly with the call.
They're off, and pacing. Ecology GB is off the gate first, looking for the lead. Township Cassandra moving out at the rail is second. Daystar Elmhurst settles in third. Getting away racing in 4 is Eagle When She Flies, settling in 5 as they move by the 8th is Reactor Nucleaire, followed in 6 by Keenson, and Pullover is 7th and trailing. Seating arrangements are complete as they move through the backstretch for the first time. Out front, Ecology GB showing the way by 1 length over a pocket-sitting Township Cassandra. Daystar Elmhurst tied up third. There goes Reactor Nucleaire. To the outside, racing in 4. They were past the quarter in 31 seconds flat. They make their way midway through the upper turn. Ecology GB dictating the pace. Reactor Nucleaire hustling up on the outside to give chase second. At the rail, Township Cassandra is locked in the pocket third. Keenson getting his second over. Trip racing in 4. At the rail, Daystar Elmhurst shuffle back and locked in 5. Outside, Pullover from 6, and now 7th and trailing is Eagle When She Flies. They move past the halfway point, continuing into the lower turn. Out front, Ecology GB continues to chart the path. Reactor Nucleaire sitting on the outside, first over, second. At the rail, third. That is Township Cassandra. Well spotted, and getting a second over Trip is Keenson racing in 4. Still hemmed in at the rail in 5 is Daystar Elmhurst. Third over 6 is Pullover, and Eagle When She Flies trails. 1:03 was the half. They approach 3/4. They're in pursuit of Ecology GB, still there by half a length. Reactor Nuclear outside is giving chase second. Township Cassandra at the rail third. Keen Sun looking to come 3 wide fourth. They race on past the 7/8. 3/4 in 1:34. And 1/5 second, Ecology GB by a length and a half. Township Cassandra reclaiming second. Third on the outside is Reactor Nuclear. 3 wide, Keen Sun fourth. They make the final turn with Ecology GB still in charge. Township Cassandra going into the passing lane. Reactor Nuclear up on the outside, coming back on. Reactor Nuclear coming back on to win it. It's close between Ecology GB and Township Cassandra for second.
Well, the second leg of the second division of the 2000 claiming series had one new face. Jericho Knock, owned by Norman Hall of Charlottetown, was in for his first start in the series, leaving from post number 6. Franny's Kid was back from St. John, drawing post 7 and hoping to improve on his summary the week before. Post 7, however, tough in this field. Calavetta Ideal from the rail, Ciravan de Nouvelle from post 2, Zachary Collins left from 3. Clonmel Tyson, the horse who's come here from Sydney, has been a steady performer from 4 and the favorite in this race, and then M.D. Waverly with Dave Carey. Here's Joe Kelly with the call, our second division, second leg of the 2000 claiming series.
They are off and pacing. Clonmel Tyson is first off the gate, grabbing the lead. Hustled out M.D. Waverly second. Calavretta Ideal at the rail comes away third, followed by Cyrano de Naval fourth. Up on the limb, Franny's Kid racing in 5. Getting away, racing in 6. As they head by the opening 8th, and Zachary Collins, and 7th and trailing the field is Jericho Knock. They race down the backside on their way to the opening quarter. Driving up on the outside to take charge is Clonmel Tyson. Up on the limb, Franny's Kid is parked out second. M.D. Waverly at the rail third. On the outside and on the move is Cyrano de Naval racing fourth. And along the rail in 5 is Calavretta Ideal. Looking to the outside, Zachary Collins in 6. And still at the back of the field is number 6, Jericho Knock. 30 and 1/5 second was the opening panel. They race off the top turn and approach the halfway point. They're still led up front by Clonmel Tyson. 1 length on M.D. Waverly. Coming 3 wide is Cyrano de Naval third. In the center, 4th is Franny's Kid. Going 3 wide in 5 is Zachary Collins. They race into the turn on their way over to the 5/8, the half in 1:01 and 1/5 second. Clonmel Tyson still there by a length and a half. On the outside, Cyrano de Naval is giving chase second, locked in third, M.D. Waverly. Calavretta Ideal is taking a look at a 4 on the limb. Zachary Collins has 5, Jericho Knock 6, and Franny's Kid is now trailing. As they approach 3/4, Clonmel Tyson is still the boss by 3 parts of a length. Cyrano de Naval on the outside, second M.D. Waverly. Getting a golden trip at the rail third. Outside is Zachary Collins within striking range 4th. In along the rail is Calavretta Ideal from 5. Then Jericho Knock and Franny's Kid. 3/4 in 1:32 and 2. Clonmel Tyson opens up now to 2.5 lengths. M.D. Waverly is giving chase second. Calavretta Ideal now third. Through the lane for the final time. Clonmel Tyson will draw off to win it. M.D. Waverly will finish second. Third is Calavretta Ideal.
Well, in the first leg of the claiming series, there was one claim. A horse by the name of Nichols Cole was claimed by Breton White of Kennecook, making a start in the second leg under new ownership, and with young Kevin Pinkney driving. Nichols Cole left from post 6. Didn't have much play from the fans. In fact, was sent away as a long shot, Nichols Cole. In this event, Cadet's Image from the rail was one of the favorites, along with Clonmel Classic from post 2. Giant Maverick leaving 3. PH Terminator, who won in the first leg, from Dave Carey from 4. Charlotte's Amy leaving from post 5. Then Nichols Cole and Goals Prince. Here now is Joe Kelly with the call. Third leg of the second division $2,000 claiming series at Truro Raceway.
They're off and pacing at the rail. Cadet's Image away to grab the early lead. Charlotte's Amy hustling out second. Getting away at the rail third is Clonmel Classic. In along the rail, Giant Maverick gets away racing in 4. Next in line 5, that's PH Terminator. Taking a look from 6 in the early going, Nichols Cole, and 7th and trailing is Goal Prince. They move up the backstretch on their way to the opening quarter. On top, Cadets MH by a length and a half. Giving chase second is Clonmel Classic. Charlotte's Amy finds the gap third. The Giant Maverick holds down 4, campaigning the rail 5. That's PH Terminator. Nichols Cole with only 1 horse beaten in Goal Prince as they race on to the 3/8. 29 and 3 was the opening quarter. No change Single file as they head off the top turn, still led by Cadet's Image. Clonmel Classic getting a golden trip second. Looking to the outside, Charlotte's Amy third, followed by Giant Maverick 4. BH Terminator still at the rail racing in 5, then Nichols Cole and Gold Prince. They check in at the halfway point. Cadet's Image still the boss by 1. Charlotte's Amy coming first over. On the inside, Clonmel Classic is hemmed in the pocket third. Getting a second over trip fourth is Giant Maverick. BH Terminator is caught in along the rail in 5/6 on the outside as they head down the backstretch. Nichols Cole. And remaining at the back of the field is Gold Prince, the half at 1:01 and 3/5 seconds. They continue on to 3/4. Charlotte's Amy on the outside is forging to the top. Cadet's Image along the inside is now second. 3 wide is Nichols Cole third. Looking to squeeze out fourth is Clonmel Classic. They race on to the top turn, and driving up now to take over is Nichols Cole. Charlotte's Amy is racing second. Cadet's Image third. Clonmel Classic fourth. 3 wide Giant Maverick in 5. 4 deep is Gold Prince in 6. Off the turn, 1:33 of the 3/4. They straighten out through the lane for the final time. Nichols Cole is clear by 5. Charlotte's Amy trying to hold on to the play spot. Up on the far outside is Gold Prince. Through the lane, it's all Nichols Cole, an easy winner. The battle is for place. Finishing second is Charlotte's Amy, third PH Terminator.
It took 100 years for Truro Raceway to record its first sub-2-minute mile, but since then they've been coming in bunches. The first sub-2-minute effort in 1995 was recorded on their January 8th card when Robert Lappin drove Escorts Abe.
They're midway down the backside for time 1. Escorts Abe, the leader, by 1 length. Giving chase in the pocket. That's May Contain. Next in line, Cindy Ella is third. Musco Joe takes a look to the outside 4th. MD Mitty is pacing in 5. Outside and traveling in 6 as they make their way by the 3/8 is Downwind Libby, then Norwell, Lily Harbor, and Harbor Sun. 30 seconds flat the opening quarter. They head off the top turn and approach the halfway point. Out front, they're led by Escorts Abe, a 1-length lead. Cinderella on the outside is first up, racing second. In along the rail third is May Contain. Spotted second over 4th as they dip into the turn. That's Musco Joe. MD Mitty staying at the rail in 5. 6th, and looking to the outside is Norwell, Lily Harbor. At the rail racing in 7. That's Harbor Sun. And trailing the field on down the backstretch, that's Downwind Libby. They move on to the 3/4, the half in 1 minute flat. Out front, Escorts Abe is still leading by 1. May Contain getting a perfect trip, racing second. Stalled on the outside is Cinderella third, and along the rail, MD Mitty needs racing room 4th, going 3 wide. Around the stall, Cinderella is Musco Joe. They race on to the 7/8, 1:30 to 3/4. They're all in pursuit of Escorts Abe as they make the final turn. He's there by 2 lengths. May Contain second. MD Mitty is racing third. Here they come down the lane. Final time. Escorts Abe, May Contain. MD Mitty is third. It will be Escorts Abe winning it. Second is May Contain. MD Mitty will finish third.
That's Keeping Pace for this week. We'd like to hear from you. If we use your story idea on the air, we'll send you an official Keeping Pace t-shirt. So send your story ideas to
Truro Raceway, Canada's fastest half-mile track, is proud to sponsor Keeping Pace. Post times at Truro Raceway are Thursdays at 7 p.m. and Sundays at 1:30 p.m. Truro Raceway, on the exhibition grounds in Bible Hill.
Hello, I'm Dwayne Geldart, and welcome to Keeping Pace. On today's show, we'll have coverage of the third leg of the $2,000 claiming series. We'll talk with John Pavlock, Director of Promotions for the USTA, and we'll meet Wayne Hafey, a Newfoundland native who recently moved his stable to Truro Raceway. But first, here's Doug Harkness with a special report.
Well, you'd never know that the Canadian dollar was trading at a 10-year low at the Meadowlands Mix Sale on January 23rd. Canadians spent $1.2 million buying horses at that sale, a sale where the sales volume was something like $6 million. Some maritime connections in the sale. Dexter Jane, a daughter of Paris Dexter, bred by Winston Taylor of Cornwall, PEI, sold at the sale for $34,000 American. She was consigned by Russ Doyle of Sydney, who campaigned her as a 2- and 3-year-old when she earned $100,000 in her 2 years of stakes racing. Dexter Jane, who took a 1:58 record at Truro Raceway in Atlantic Sire Stakes action, was a repeat winner last year in the Dairy Queen Futurity, winning that event at 2 at Charlottetown and at 3 at Truro when she paced in 1:58 and 2. to beat CL's Social World. Dexter's Jane selling to Pennsylvania interests. Also in the sale, Johnny Conroy winner Reggie, which was driven by Ian Moore when he won the race at Truro last year, sold for $18,500. He had been consigned to the sale by Dr. Ian Moore and Tom Clark of Charlottetown. General's Gate was also consigned to the sale, but the third-place finisher in last year's Gold Cup and Saucer was withdrawn because of illness. This is Doug Harkness reporting for Keeping Pace.
Keeping Pace and Pie Chevold, Central Nova Scotia's largest GM truck dealer, are proud to offer official Keeping Pace t-shirts. If you send us a story idea and we use it on the air, we'll send you one. So forward your ideas to Keeping Pace, care of Eastern Cable, Channel 4, 69 Walker Street, Truro, Nova Scotia, B2N 4A8. Official Keeping Pace t-shirts are only available through this offer. The Atlantic Sire Stakes program is administered by the Atlantic Standardbred Breeders Association with Jack Ferguson as manager. We asked Jack about the 1995 season.
Well, Jack Ferguson, as we anxiously await the start of the Atlantic Sire Stakes, the good news is that the purse funds for the Atlantic Sire Stakes are going to stay pretty well the same.
Yes, we've got a solid commitment from the three maritime provinces to back the Sire Stakes for 5 years on the same basis they have the last 3 years, I guess. And so we're solid now till the year 2000. We've got a good base to operate the Sire Stakes on.
Jack, roughly about $600,000 a year in purse money?
A little over 600,000 we put out, yeah.
Jack, I also noticed at the dates meeting that dates were allocated for Tartan Downs and Sydney, although the track's future is still precarious, but the dates were allocated.
Yeah, it's up in the air, and, it was, well, of course, we want to do everything we can to show that we want to race there, and it would just be out of the question to assign dates to all the other tracks and not consider Sydney and then bring Sydney in if they operate it, and we hope they do operate. So the dates are there, and hopefully we'll be racing them there.
Have you got a plan B in the event that something happens they don't race?
No, we'll hope that they do race. If anything happens that they don't, we'll just have to take a look then. The directors make a decision on what direction we go then.
But we're still talking about the same pool of money anyway, around $600,000.
Yeah, we're talking the same pool of money. Two things that we could do right off the top of my head would be to operate the dates at some other racetrack, or we could shrink the program a little and go, 5 tracks instead of 6. But I think it would be better to go the dates because we get, more exposure, more money turned over, and I think that's likely the way we would go.
Big year for the Atlantic Sire Stakes again in 1994. We saw our first sub-2-minute trot mile, our only Sire Stakes record. That kind of brings things down where it's got to be awful tough to set a Sire Stakes record, Jack, in the future.
Yes, it is. The 3-year-old pacers, both of them are around 56. The 2-year-olds, I think they can chew away a little at it yet, and but you never really know where the next great one is going to come from.
All indications the Maritime Breds are being well accepted. West River Exotic taking a new mark at Woodbine last week, 59, and Dexter's Jane, one of your graduates, selling for $34,000 American, a nice price.
Yeah. There's horses being raised in the Maritimes that are competitive any place in the world. The OJC and when you sell it in New Jersey, you don't have to be ashamed of them.
Do you think that the Maritime Bred products are now sort of marketable, a bigger market for them?
Oh, yes, I think so. We're getting known a little bit better, and there's some connections being made. And, we're getting the speed and putting the lines on their papers that you can sell a horse with.
Jack, I know your stallion registration date is fast approaching. I understand more new blood coming in the stallion barns.
Yes, I think there's perhaps... off the top of my head, likely a half a dozen new ones. And, of course, some of the old ones will be gone, but, we still, there's still people that are brave and people that are interested, and that's what keeps things going.
Jack, it's amazing, the decline in the business, but you breeders keep putting out product, and somehow the numbers continue to stay up.
Yeah, everybody else is kind of crying gloom and doom. It's only a state of mind. You know, you might as well smile and go at it, and things will turn out.
Well, Jack, thanks very much for sharing your thoughts with us. We'll probably catch up to you before the Sire Stakes bell gets ready to ring.
Sure, thank you very much.
For those of you who enjoy making a wager on a race, here's today's USTA handicapping tip.
When horses move up or down in class, or from one type of class to another, the size of the purse is a good general indicator of how a horse might do tonight. At any track, the better classes will go for bigger purses than the events in the lower classes. And when comparing the chances of several horses, some of which have been racing in conditioned races while others have been in claiming events, you can get a true picture of their relative class simply by comparing the purses offered in their past races. So if a horse has been racing well against fields chasing a $3,000 purse, his chances of winning will be better if he drops into a $2,000 event. Here, though, a word of caution. When a horse comes from another track where the purse structure is different, purse will no longer be a good indicator of class. At a large track where more money is bet, a $10,000 claimer may offer a purse of $4,500, while the same claiming class at a smaller track may go for only $2,000. Knowing the difference in purses and how they relate to class helps you zero in on who the top horses are in a given race.
A number of new faces have been appearing on the backstretch at Truro Raceway in recent weeks. One of the newcomers is Wayne Hafey, a popular horseman at Tartan Downs. He spoke with Doug Harkness.
Wayne Hafey, you're now in Truro Raceway, but you started your career over in Newfoundland.
Yeah, back in '82 I started driving in Newfoundland. I was there for 10 years, raced a bunch of horses, mostly from May until October. Come to Sydney in October of '92, and been there for the last couple of years.
Newfoundland is back racing again this past year after a year's absence. That's a good sign for the sport.
Oh, definitely. A lot of interest in Newfoundland. There's a lot of good people down there.
And still a lot of good owners, Wayne.
Yes, that's what the game needs, good owners. Like I say, there's people down there that really want to make the sport work.
Wayne, you moved into Sydney, and you've been a regular there for the last couple of years and been doing very well there.
Yeah, not bad. All my own, you know, as best I can.
And I guess probably the reason you're at Truro now is the fact that Sydney won't be racing for a couple of months this year, eh?
That's the reason I came, yeah. Just like where the shutdown is going on in Sydney. So hopefully we get an owner in Sydney and get harness racing back there.
What's the feeling the horsemen there? Are they confident that the track will keep going?
Yeah, a lot of horsemen are confident that there will be a buyer that will keep harness racing alive.
Yeah. Wayne, what have you brought down to Truro? What type of stock have you got here?
A couple of claimers and a couple of half-decent ones. There's Sonny Rankin sent up 4. And there's one there belonging to Kansas Snow. Robbie Levette and George Exciter's got one there. And Rodney Forward and Ed Campbell sent up Casper Who.
I noticed in your first debut at Truro Raceway on Thursday night, you reined home a winner. That must have made you feel pretty good.
Yeah, it's nice to rein home an old winner, especially a horse that's raced in Truro last winter, and Crafty Abe. So I got the job done, that's the main thing.
He was racing at 800 claimers in Sydney and he beat the 2,000 here tonight in a better class.
Yeah, he's a tough old horse. He's all hurt, I must say.
Tell us about this horse Biggie now. I know that Snow's on him, and he's been a fairly well top-flight horse in Sydney this year.
Yeah, he's a nice old horse. He's, like I say, he races top class down there every night. He'd be all right when he gets in his right class there, you know. You just got to see what happens, play by ear.
Wayne, you're at Truro Raceway now. Any ambitions maybe to go up the line even further?
Oh, this is fair enough, Doug. Right here.
Well, we want to wish you the best of luck at Truro Raceway with your stock, and also to the horsemen of Sydney. We wish that they'll get going again in the new year as well.
Sure. Thanks a lot.
It's time now for a feature on races from the past. This week's race took place in 1991 at Truro Raceway. Here's the call.
They're off and pacing. Off the gate quickly. Floppy Disc to grab the lead. Driving up on the outside, that's Silverwood Peggy now looking to take charge. As they continue into the turn, Silverwood Peggy has taken over the lead. Floppy Disc gives way, races second. Wittenberg on the outside is racing third. Rain Lady fourth. Swing or away in the 5 spot. 3 wide in 6 down the backstretch. You stand by you. Now we go back to the Ashton winner. Tarpford's takeoff. And treading the field, Minus Accolade. They move past the opening quarter. Silverwood Peggy is off stride of the front end goes Silverwood Peggy. And taking over the lead now, that's Wittenberg. They were past the opening quarter in 29 seconds as they continue past the 3As. Wittenberg now has the lead. Floppy Disc on the inside is racing second. They continue off the top turn and approach the halfway point. Wittenberg leads the field by 1. Floppy Disc is racing second. Now settling in at the rail is Rain Lady as they move past the half. Then Ashton Winner starting up on the outside, giving cover to Swingor. They continue into the lower turn. On the move is Midas Accolade. Then Tarport's Takeoff. Stand By You in the trailer is Silverwood Peggy. The half reached in 59-4 as they move down the backstretch. And Wittenberg has the lead by 1. Then Ashton Winner moving up to challenge on the outside second. At the rail and racing from 3 is Floppy Disc. Swingor on the limb is pacing 4th. Rain Lady caught in 5th. Midas Accolade 6th. Tarport's Takeoff is 7th. They move into the turn. Wittenberg looking strong out front with Denishton Winner right there giving chase second. Then a gap of 2.5 back to Swingor racing third. 3/4 in 1:30 4/5. They have an 1/8 to come as they move off the top turn. And still leading by 1 is Wittenberg. Denishton Winner is second. Swingor third. Midas Accolade moving up on the outside. Through the stretch they come. Wittenberg now draws off to 4 lengths. Denishton Winner second, but it will be Wittenberg to win it second. Is Denishton Winner. Midas Accolade finishes third.
We'll have more race action later in the program. But first, let's go back to Doug Harkness, who's now being joined by USTA Promotions Director John Pavlock.
John Pavlik, you're the Director of Promotions and Public Relations for the United States Trotting Association. Can you tell our viewers why they should get hooked on harness?
I can't think of anything more fun than going to the races. It's fun to try to solve those little problems. Who might win tonight? And if I can put down a couple of bob and go home with 3 bob, then I'm king of the world. It's just fun. It's pure competition. The sport is inherently exciting. A race, whether it's an automobile race or, of course, a harness race, there's just something where people want to get up and cheer and yell and scream, and there are very few sports or activities that people do that anymore. It's just fun, and you might win a buck or two. That's the danger, and then you'll love it for a lifetime, of course.
How important, of course, is the horse in our sport?
It's everything we do. You know, we're under attack in our sport a little bit from the people who look after animal welfare, but I think they come as Johnny-come-latelys. Ronnie Waples, the great Hall of Fame driver from Canada, once said at a public meeting we held down in Florida that, you know, the truth be known, we treat our horses better than we treat our children. He's unfortunately right in some cases, but you know, Dougie, from being in the business and around it, that you have a horse that may not be a world beater, but he is injured and needs veterinary help, has to go to the clinic, and it's going to cost the owners a lot of money. There's no decision to be made. You help the horse and do everything you can to keep them competitive. And one of the great things that's happening in our sport is because of amateur driving, which is really undergoing a great increase in popularity, as well as the fact that we're discovering that these are doggone good horses to ride and enjoy. You can give them to a youngster and they can handle them. There's an afterlife for harness horses, and that's really great to see. So I think on balance, we can tell those critics that we're doing pretty doggone well. The horse is everything. They're just beautiful animals, aren't they? I certainly agree with you there, John. John, a new patron to a racetrack, he walks into the racetrack, and then we present him with something called the program. That, to me, the first time I saw it, is Greek. What's harness racing doing? I know we're using your USTA tips on our show now that you have, but how can we educate our people better? They have to remember that there are very few things that are really of interest to the handicapper, I think, at least the basic handicapper. You can make handicapping as complicated as you want it, as you well know. The driver's percentage of wins or his UDR, his average. Some drivers are simply better drivers than others, and they're going to have that high batting average. Pay attention to them, but it's not always the driver that wins the race. The horse should have a high winning percentage, have earned more money perhaps per start than the other horses. Moving into a little better post position, you know, the race sometimes go to the horse on the inside much more often than anything else. So post position, driver, the consistency of the horse. Time can be a little bit misleading. It's not always the horse who went the fastest mile last time out, but that can be a strong consideration. And certainly if the horse that you like, because it has a cute name, is not, it seems week after week, as fast as the others, well, it may be a cute name, but it may not be a cute bet. So those, I think, are some of the basic things. You can delve into it much farther. There are people that calculate track variance, and there are all sorts of things. There are a few books available through the libraries or the mail order houses that can help you if you really want to get into it. I would suggest that maybe you send $5 U.S. to me at the USTA in Columbus, Ohio. I know you'll give them the address. We have a book that Jerry Connors, our good friend, wrote called Handicapping Beyond the Basics, using real races and real handicapping problems that he helps us solve. And I think you can learn a lot through a book like that.
John, people, though, can't really expect to go to the races and come off with the lottery-type wins, thousands and thousands of dollars, can they, realistically?
$1 million a year for 1 million years? No, you can't. That's not the nature of the sport. You invest in a couple of dollars at a time. You may win 10, 20, a triactor, maybe a couple of $100. You may have to pay some serious tax money on it. But, you know, we in Ohio, where I come from, we just had a lottery payoff of $24 million, went to one person down there, and the chances of winning that were like 1 in 15 million. Now, of every dollar wagered at a harness track, about 80 cents goes back into the pockets of the patrons that walk out with. I think your odds are a heck of a lot better. You know, I don't need $1 million to live on. A triactor now and then. You can buy a new tie, and I need one, goodness knows. That's fun. The thing is to win. There have been many times, Doug, I know you've done it too, where you walked out of the racetrack 20 cents ahead, and you felt like the king of Siam. You're the smartest guy in the world because you beat the races that night. That's all.
The third leg of the $2,000 Claimer Series was held at Truro Raceway on January 29th. Here's Doug Harkness to set the scene.
Well, Dave Carey, who had sort of dominated the series with 3 winners out of the first 6 legs, was in the first division last Sunday with Reactor Nucleaire. This horse added spreaders in the race today, leaving from post number 4, and was considered one of the favorites. Ecology GB, with Danny Romo back up on the bike, was leaving from post 3, also considered a threat, as was Red Hot Robert Laffin with Cadet's Image, who was leaving on the rail. There were 7 starters in this division, including the filly Charlotte's Amy with Phil Pinckney aboard. This filly has a 2-3 summary going into this race, and despite the fact she drew post 6, we expected her to be in the money as well. Here's Joe Kelly with the call, however, for the first division of the third leg, the $2,000 Claiming Series at Truro Raceway.
They're off and pacing off the gate quickly. Ecology GB is looking for the early lead. Cadet's Image at the rail. Up on the far outside, Charlotte's Amy is 4 wide. They race on to the opening 8th. Ecology GB in the center, emerging with the lead. Cadet's Image gives way to race second. Charlotte's Amy is pacing third, settling in 4th. That's Reactor Nucleaire from 5 down the backstretch. Calavretta Ideal. Township Cassandra takes a look in 6th and 7th, and trailing the field, Cyrano de Naval. They race past the opening quarter. Charlotte's Amy is now the new leader. She has it by 2 lengths, with Ecology GB giving chase second. At the rail, third is Cadet's Image. Reactor Nucleaire next in line, 4th. A gap of 4 open lengths back to Calavretta Ideal in 5. Outside 6 is Cyrano de Naval. And Township Cassandra is now trailing. They were past the opening station in 29 and 1/5 second. They move up to the halfway point, still led by Charlotte's Amy. The lead 1 length. Here comes Cadet's Image, first up, second. At the rail and staying there, third is Ecology GB. Following cover, second over, Reactor Nucleaire is 4th. 5th on the outside is Cyrano de Naval. In along the rail. And racing in 6th is Calavretta Ideal. And Township Cassandra. Can see them all as they race on to the backside. They were past the half in 1 minute flat. Charlotte's Amy still leading it by half a length. Cadet's Image in pursuit. Second, locked in the pocket. Third is Ecology GB. Reactor Nucleaire is tipping 3 wide. They race on past the 3/4 out there. 3 wide. Reactor Nucleaire looking for the lead. Cadet's Image in the center is second. Third in along the rail is Charlotte's Amy. Ecology GB is racing 4th. Sweeping up 3 wide in 5. That's Cyrano de Naval. They race past the 7/8. They're 3 deep. As they head off the top turn, now 4 wide in along the rail, Charlotte's Amy. Outside is Cadet's Image second. On 3 wide, Reactor Nucleaire. Extreme outside is Cyrano de Naval. There's 5, 6 of them across the track as they race to the payoff. Reactor Nucleaire, Township Cassandra. Reactor Nucleaire wins it. Township Cassandra finishing second. It's close for third.
Well, Clonmel Tyson, who had won the second leg of the series, had a new driver in leg 3, Phil Pinckney, getting the driving assignment by this veteran Knightley Blue Chip horse, leaving from post 3, Clonmel Tyson. Also in this division, M.D. Waverly with Danny Romo, leaving from post 2. Nichols Cole, a big reversal in form in the series for Nichols Cole. He was well back in the first leg, claimed by a new owner, and won the second leg. He's back now in the third leg, and also has to be considered in this race from post 5. Kevin Pinckney again gets the driving assignment. Eagle When She Flies from 6, Keenson from post 7, and Jericho Knock, who's making his second start in the series. This is a claimer from Charlottetown Driving Park owned by Norman Hall, leaving from post 8, but he's a tough campaigner. We look to see him in the money. However, we look for Clonmel Tyson and Phil Pinckney to go to the lead early and never be headed. Here's Joe Kelly, however, with the call.
They're off and pacing. Clonmel Tyson is off the gate first to grab the lead. Franny's Kid moves out second. Up on the limb, Eagle When She Flies is racing third. MD Waverly comes away fourth. Jericho Knock up on the outside, parked out 5. At the rail and racing from 6 as they head down the backstretch for time 1. That is Giant Maverick. Away in 7, Nichols Cole, and the 8th one is Keen Sun. They move on down the backstretch and past the opening quarter. Clonmel Tyson will dictate the pace. A length and a half lead over a parked out Eagle When She Flies. In the pocket, Franny's Kid third. Covered up on the outside, 4th is Jericho Knock. MD Waverly is caught in at the rail in 5. Tied up racing 6th is Giant Maverick. Nichols Cole racing from 7. And sitting at the back of the field, that is Keen Sun, the opening panel, 29 and 2/5 seconds. They move off the top turn and approach the half. Clonmel Tyson is still the pace setter, a length and a half on Franny's Kid. Jericho Knock moving up 3 wide into 3. Also 3 wide is Nichols Cole in along the rail, MD Waverly. Then we go back to Giant Maverick, Eagle When She Flies, and Keen Sun. They race into the turn, the half in 59 and 4/5 seconds. They move on down the backside. Clonmel Tyson still leading a length and a half. Jericho Knock advancing on the outside is now within 3/4 of a length. Second, third at the rail, Franny's Kid. Nichols Cole up into contention, 4th. MD Waverly looking to the outside, 5. Giant Maverick 6. Keen Sun is 7 and well back and trailing Eagle When She Flies. They move on to the upper turn. Clonmel Tyson is still your leader by half a length. 1:30 and 2, the 3/4. Clonmel Tyson. Jericho Knock the outside second. Franny's Kid third. MD Waverly out there. 4 wide is 4th. Nichols Cole is racing 5th off the turn. Here they come to the payoff. They're led home by Clonmel Tyson. MD Waverly on the far outside. Franny's Kid in the passing lane. They're not catching Clonmel Tyson. Franny's Kid finishing second.
Well, the third division, third leg of the $2,000 claiming series was considered to be the toughest one in that it had 3 previous winners involved. Advanced Glance with Dave Carey, a winner in leg 1, drew post 1 and was considered to be one of the top horses to beat in this field. Saturday's Child, leaving from post 6, was a winner in the second leg of the series, and PH Terminator also won in the second leg of the series. So 3 winners. PH Terminator, who was driven to his victory by Dave Carey, had the hands of Gary Daniels today. Gary getting the catch drive because, of course, Dave Carey was driving Advanced Glance, an indication that Carey liked Advanced Glance the best in this one. Also, there was Daystar Elmerhurst from post 2, Gold Prince from 3, Zachary Collins from post 4, then Pullover, and Clonmel Classic from post 7. Actually, we liked Advanced Glance from the rail for Dave Carey to win it, Zachary Collins from post 2, and for a third choice, Saturday's Child. Here's Joe Kelly, however, with the third division, third leg of the $2,000 claiming series.
They're off and pacing. Advanced Glance at the rail is away looking for the early lead against Zachary Collins. Settling in is Daystar Elmerhurst third, taking his seat Gold Prince in 4. Away in 5, that's Pullover, followed 6th by Saturday's Child. Clonmel Classic comes away 7, and PH Terminator is 8th and treading the field. They move on down the backside. Advanced Glance emerging with the top spot by 3/4 of a length. That is Zachary Collins, parked out second. Daystar Elmerhurst follows third. Then a gap of 3.5 lengths back to 4th, and Gold Prince from 5. That is Pullover up on the outside. Saturday's Child is backing up and moving up around as they move by the 3/8 is Clonmel Classic. They move off the top turn, 29 and 1/5 second. They continue off the top turn. Advanced Glance is clear by 5 open lengths as they approach the half. Now racing second is Gold Prince. Zachary Collins outside third. In along the rail 4th is Daystar Elmerhurst. From 5 as they race into the lower turn is Pullover. The inquiry sign has been posted as they move on over to the 5/8. The half reached in 59 and 2/5 seconds. Advanced Glance still leading the way, a length and a half. Giving chase is Gold Prince second, third Daystar Elmerhurst. Pullover at the rail has 4, 5th. On the outside, Zachary Collins locked in racing 6th is Clonmel Classic from 7 as they move down the backside. That is PH Terminator, and trailing the field is Saturday's Child. They race on to the 7/8. Advanced Glance by 2.5 lengths over Gold Prince. On the inside, racing third, that is Clonmel Classic. Up on the limb, fourth is Pullover. Fifth along the rail is PH Terminator. 131 was the 3/4. Through the stretch they come for the final time. They're led home by Advanced Glance on the outside. Gold Prince down in the passing lane is Clonmel Classic. Advanced Glance will win it. Finishing second, it looks like Clonmel Classic, then Gold Prince.
That's Keeping Pace for this week. We'd like to hear from you. If we use your story idea on the air, we'll send you an official Keeping Pace t-shirt. So send your story ideas to Keeping Pace.